Hey guys, it's Mike and I'm here at the Salinas Rec Center. And today I'll be showing you 3 card games. I'll also show you how to shuffle and deal. So let's go. To get started, the first thing we're going to do is open up the cards and take out anything we don't need. So in this case, it would be any jokers or just cards with words on it. And when you first open your cards, they'll be in order. These are already shuffled up. But to begin with, if you do not know how to shuffle normal, a good way to do it is to just spin it around on the table, mixing up all the cards. Now once you've done that for a little bit, they should be nice and shuffled. So you straighten them out. And then to deal, you start with the top card and you always go to your left. So the first card would go to the person to your left, to their left, to their left, all the way around till it gets back to you. And then you continue going for the amount of cards needed. And that is how you shuffle and deal. Now on to the games. Okay guys, for our first game, knockout, you're going to need anything to write with and anything to write on. And all you need to write is the numbers 1 through 10. And then you're going to need to take your deck of cards and you're going to want 2 aces, 2 2s, 2 3s, 2 4s, and 2 5s. It doesn't matter which color or what suit. And you're going to want to mix those cards up good. And the object is to draw the first 2 cards and using any math equation, adding, subtracting, multiplying, or division, if you know how, and cross off each number one at a time. So I would go first, and I drew a 6 and an ace. And an ace is equal to a 1. So I can add these together and get a 7. I could subtract them and get a 5, or I could multiply and divide and get a 6. So to start, I'll subtract, and I cross off the 5. Once my turn is done, I take the cards, and we mix them all up again. This game can also be played with a pair of dice, if you have those. But if not, and you have a deck of cards, cards is easy too. So the next person would go, and they would have their own piece of paper and their own set of 10. And they would take their turn, do the same thing, cross off a number. And then when it gets back to my turn, shuffle the cards again. And I would draw the top 2 cards again. This time I got a 6 and a 4. And I can add them. 6 and 4 is 10, or 6 minus 4 is 2. So I'll choose the 10. And I'll start shuffling again. And play continues until one person has crossed off each number, and they'd be the winner. Good luck, and on to the next game. Okay, guys, for our next game, you can use a paper and a pencil again if you need one, but this time you'll need the full deck of cards. Now you can modify the deck of cards based on your adding level. So if there's numbers that are too big and you don't know how to add those, you can pull those cards out. But each card we're going to use is going to be their face value. For example, a 5 would be worth a 5. An ace is a 1. But when you get to a jack would be 11, a queen would be 12, and a king would be 13. And you'll need to add 2 cards or 2 numbers together each time. So let's make sure the deck is all shuffled. And we'll square it out. And on your first turn, you're going to draw 2 cards off the top. So 6 and 7. Now if you need to, you can write down your numbers to add them up and keep track. If you can do it in your head, that's even better. Then you're going to take your cards and you're going to make a discard pile. Once you finish the deck, you shuffle and start over. The next person would go, they would draw their 2 cards, write down their numbers, add them up. You can have as many people play as you'd like. When it gets back to your turn the second time, you only need to draw 1 card. And now you add that card to your number and keep going. The next person draws their card, adds it to their pile, to their number, and then on your turn, you add 1 number again. And you keep going till you get to 100. First person to 100 wins. Good luck, and on to the next game. All right, guys, for our last game, we're going to play Go Fish 10. And for this, you'll need a full deck of cards, but then you're going to remove your 10s, jacks, queens, and kings, all of them. And we'll just put them in a pile and move them to the side. You're going to take the rest of your cards, ace through 9, shuffle them up, and then you're going to deal them out. 5 cards to each player. So on your turn, you're going to look at your cards. So I have a pair of aces. Normally in Go Fish, you want pairs. But in this version, Go Fish 10, the object is to get pairs that add up to 10. So I have a 9 and an ace, where the ace equals 1. So that would be a 10. Then I would ask somebody for another card that equals to 10 using one of the cards in my hand. So with this 8, I would ask for a 2. And I would ask one of the players, do you have a 2? If they had a 2, they'd give it to me. I'd put it with my 8 and put it in my finish pile. If they didn't have a 2, they would tell me to go fish. I would draw a card. And if I drew the card I needed, I would put it with my 8 and continue my turn. So for an ace, I would ask for a 9. They would tell me go fish. I draw a card. It's not the 9 I needed. And play would continue around. Once you run out of all the cards in your hand, you draw 5 more cards. And play continues till there are no more cards left. And the player with the most pairs that add up to 10 would be the winner. Good luck and happy fishing.